Welcome back to Easy to Spell, where the name is Easy to Spell, and we did it wrong anyway. I am your dungeon daddy, Andrew. Joining me tonight, as always, our fabulous crew, beginning with...
Hi, I'm Will, and I play Dominique.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I play Angel.
There he is.
I'm Mike, and I play Sai, and I'm a little uncomfortable.
I'm Anthony, and I'm going to play Quinnington.
And my name's David. We're gonna play some D&D. Let's go. Okay.
And welcome back, everybody. It has been a while since we've played, between travel and just personal stuff. People have been moving around a lot the last few weeks. We are sans Lucy, who normally will play Yoshida. She is out tonight. We wish her the best and hope to have her rejoining us soon. Do we have any announcements? Anything that we want to go over? It's been a little while, so we can plug WD Photos, which is mine and Will's photography business. You can check us out on w.d photos on Instagram. We have some cool new stuff from our recent adventures. Anybody else have anything they want to plug, pitch, talk about?
I'm good.
Nope.
Okay. Thursdays we have our usual video game stream. That's 7 o'clock Mountain Time is about usually when we start doing that. It will, for the next little while, I think, be primarily Will and I, hopefully being joined by Rachel and maybe my own wife and potentially Anthony, just depending on whoever's free. So come check us out there. Lastly, if you ever want to buy fish, I think Quinn's the... We have to plug all of our businesses to our 3 viewers. That's if our viewers need fish and photos, we really need to...
That's our next business venture, fish and photos.
We can have some fishy photos.
Fishy photos of... Are those photos of people fishing? Are they just like scrupulous photos that makes them fishy? Are they photos of fish? Why not all of the above?
Or
We can do
PAs.
it all.
Something just smell fishy.
Yeah, just bad smelling photos.
Photos
Scratch
trying
and
to steal
sniffs.
your information.
Jesus.
Yeah, fishing. Yeah, there you go. The idea of scratch and sniff photos that no matter what it was, it just smelled like fish. You know, like the strawberries, they taste like fish. Like the blueberries, they taste like fish. Like the schnozberries, they taste like fish. Okay. With no other announcements or anything, when we last left off, the party had dealt with the looming threat of Mathis, the undead, not quite a necromancer, but whatever he was, it's over. He was swallowed in shadow by the shade of some being who you're kind of trying to figure out. The burning feather left behind, I think, was a pretty good hint that most of you were picking up on. You returned home after receiving a message from Lear, the daughter of Angel and Doman, saying that she was fine, that your friend Mr. R was here to see you, in which you sent her off to Captain Crawford's Pirate's Trove bar for safety, because Mathis is the trafficker that originally sold Lear and Mav to the Kael'dan family for whatever nefarious purposes they were subjected to. Returning home, Rathmus simply put to you that he was calling in the favor which Doman had offered in exchange for information previously. That all he needs is for you to rescue the gnome Samuel from the nearby guardhouse of the Vigilant Watch, preferably before he's able to give up whatever information he was bringing to Rathmus. Another connection with you guys from the Kitravenna clan, a group of nomadic wastelanders that Angel and Doman also hail from. In their recent excursion into an ancient temple, pantheon, lost city, whatever it may be that they were searching for. We are in the morning after Avrin has given the Shetland unicorn, the Nalburundian unicorn, all of the apples that you have. Not some of the apples. It was very clear. He did not want you to bring a lot of apples. All of your apples. At which point he granted you a wish. The wish, and what you wished was to know the location of Mav within the city of Avarice. Information you now have. It is this morning, just after having received this information, we settle back into the kitchen with the unicorn chowing down on the tremendous amount of apples you brought. Sir Quinnington, in a strange blip of the cosmos, popping in and out of the universe. There he is.
He cast Blink.
He cast Blink. But is in the kitchen as you pull back from this vision that we come back to our adventure. Avrin, what are you doing?
Well, okay. So is this immediately after I've had the vision?
Yes, this is like as that so Raven, we pull back from your eyes.
Gotcha.
Your face.
All right.
Nathan's stating ourselves here.
That's so Avrin.
That's so Avrin. Okay. So is it, do I know like exactly where he is and how to get to him? Like as far as path goes?
No, you have very much like a detect person spell.
Okay.
And it is sort of fading. You have a direction and a vague distance, and it is almost straight down, angled towards kind of the center of the city for several hundred feet.
Okay. He's deep.
Indeed.
Do I know how far down the bottom layer is?
You'd guess at its deepest point, the bottom layer of Avarice would probably be 200 feet down.
Okay, and it seems like it's further than that.
It seems significantly further than that.
Okay. Perfect. Then with that, he's going to kind of think on it for the time being and finish cooking breakfast.
Okay.
So what do you
Until
I'll wake up when I start smelling breakfast.
Silas probably been awake since his dream, and so I'm gonna go find Angel. I don't know if she's with Doman, but just look for her in particular. So I'll just knock on yours' door, I guess. Hey, Angel?
1 minute. Just gonna get up and come to the door.
I just want to let you guys know, Lear got home safe last night. Although she started to talk about how Rathmus' voice seemed familiar, but she didn't know where from. I think we know why, but I just wanted to give you guys that heads up of, I think she might start to remember things.
Thank you. It's something I worry about. So I appreciate it. Thanks for getting her home safe.
Yeah, of course. That reminds me, do you have the bag of holding? I promise I won't do the same thing we did last time.
I don't think I have it. I think Avi has it.
Okay, I'll go check with him. Thanks.
At which point, you probably bumping into Sir Quinnington, who's, I imagine, very cartoonishly following like the smell of breakfast. We're almost going to give him like, if his feet could be floating in the air behind him, they would be.
Good morning.
Morning.
Say as I just headed back down the hallway towards the kitchen.
I'll just follow him at a little distance, being like, "All right."
Doman, Angel, is there anything particular the two of you are working on?
I think just making sure we got all of our supplies together to go do whatever we need to get this dude from jail.
Okay.
Loading up the skimmer and what have you.
In that case, Avron, what's for breakfast?
Surprisingly, not beans. It's actually going to be a bit of a spread. Eggs, sausage, bacon, some, I don't know, other things. I was gonna say pancakes, but I didn't want to say pancakes, and then I froze up. So
All right, just a full English breakfast. You've got muffins and
There you go.
sausage and beans.
sure. You know, I gotta have the beans. Gotta have the beans.
Just that is a legitimately part of an English breakfast.
Beans on toast.
Beans on toast,
Beans on toast.
Thing.
and it's good. It's delicious.
It's basically their biscuits and gravy.
Sai's gonna walk into the kitchen or in the dining area where everything's being prepared and all that, and well, that looks good, really, really good, Abby. And I'm gonna start shuffling through like cabinets and stuff. And hey, Abby, do you have the bag of holding?
Yes.
Can I borrow it for like 10 minutes? I promise the same thing's not gonna happen. I'll be much more careful this time.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. And I gotta get breakfast on the run. Do you have any apples anywhere?
No.
Damn. Okay, well that's all right. I'll be right back, and I'll just grab like a piece of sausage and.
Do you not the bag of holding?
Oh yeah, and then I'll grab that and I'll take off up to the bar.
Oh. I understand
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's we can skip that. You're able to reclaim Lear's winnings, right? That's what
Yeah.
you're going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
How much was that? Did we determine?
we did not. She is the owner somewhere in the realm of. There is a magic hammer, unidentified. A pouch of gems totaling in the area of 2,500 gold, and another 250 platinum worth of mixed gold, platinum, and silver.
And that is, I'm assuming, with who's 25% taken back.
Correct.
Okay.
That is with who's 25% taken
Just
back.
had to make sure. Okay.
She a wealthy lady.
If who did only take 25%, you won't really know. You didn't get a good count
Yeah, that's fair.
beforehand. Okay. During that time, you guys can have loaded up the skimmer, and kind of everybody joined up for breakfast. The
I'm gonna
only
walk into the room where Avi has finished cooking, grab a sausage link, and throw it in the air and catch it in his mouth. So, Avi, are you all planning on coming with us today?
Yes.
Take it, huh?
Where's Angel? I was gonna call you Vala. I don't.
Oh. Angel is probably right with Dolman. Pushing through the bacon to find the crispiest pieces.
Everything that
Well-
she pushes aside, I'm just heaping onto a plate.
Speaking of, after breakfast, you guys will receive some sort of bonus. I've got to look that up. I don't know right now. Yeah. Well, I know where Mav is.
Where? Take us now.
Getting to him isn't easy.
Okay, well,
Hey,
where is he?
Yeah, we can handle the getting there part.
We will have to devise a plan for getting there. It's not going to be soon. It is below us.
Lower
Far,
tier.
far below us.
How do you know?
Past the lowest tier of avarice.
I don't think there is anything past the lowest tier. I mean, nothing goes down there. It's rock.
You know the point, the tower at the top of the EXO?
Yeah.
I believe it is the exact opposite, but I am uncertain.
Doman, make me an intelligence check.
Yay, I'm great at these. No pluses, but 16 on the die.
16 on the die. You very recently had a dream yourself where you were standing in a circular room with windows that looked into a deep lava lit cavern. And as soon as he says the tip of the EXO is the inverse, you realize the room you were in could have been that of an inverted tower extending into some deep subterranean cavern. You've
As soon
seen
as I realize
this.
that, I'll look at Angel and be like, that could have been where I was dreaming about the other night
With Mav?
with Mav. That checks out.
So it wasn't a dream.
Well, I don't know what else to call it. I seemed very dreamlike. I was asleep. He was asleep. Call it communal dreaming.
So you said this is below the lowest tier.
From what I can... Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, you take the top tiers, flip them on their head. Wherever that top tier lands underground.
Yes.
Well, it's
Well, then
actually
we need-
deeper than that. There's one more tier underground than there is above.
I trust the robot. Yeah.
we're going to need to find a way to get down there. I imagine it's going to be just as difficult to get through down there as it is to get to the top tier up here.
Agree. However, it's not something we can do today. We've got to go find this gnome fella.
Were we around when you struck your deal with the gnome? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Or
I
about
think
the
everybody
gnome.
was in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I don't remember it personally.
Oh, we just have to go find him and
My character does,
get his
but I don't.
information.
I guess Sai
Oh.
will come in the door around that time.
There we go.
Hey, do you guys want Lear's stuff, or do you want me to just take it up to her?
Well, you can
But
just give it to her.
Okay. Hell of a gambler, by the way, apparently. And I'm just gonna head up.
Really?
Takes after her dad.
Sai, you knock on Lear's door and you hear, come in.
I'll slowly open the door and, how you doing?
I feel like I've been kicked in the head by a
Yeah.
pirate.
I believe that.
Lear is just disheveled. Like the blankets are like pulled up around her ears, and she's clearly like been up for a little bit, but just like face in her hands and just holding her head together, or trying to just to try to stop the headache.
Can I get you anything?
I just need some water. I'll be okay. What's up, Sai? Did I didn't do anything.
No. I just,
embarrassed myself.
No,
I-
I just wanted to bring you your stuff that we left at the bar.
Right. Was I playing cards? Or
I would say you were playing everybody else.
Bar taught me a few tricks back at camp, so they must have paid off. I get cool. What do we get?
And I'll just take it all out and set it on the
It's
nearest
just
table. It's just yeah.
Dumping it kind of onto the bed in the nightstand, followed by the hammer, which drops, which is a beautiful like silvery warhammer. Has the flat hammer side where in the back end comes to like the piercing spike. Kind of drops heavily onto the bed. She kind of looks at it. She's okay. I see what you mean. I guess do you want any of this? That's if you hadn't gotten me, I probably wouldn't have left with any of this. They probably would have chalked it up to just one big old mulligan.
I don't have any need for it. I'm good. I don't know if anybody else. I don't know about this hammer or anything, but I'm personally okay. I'd use these.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I'll count it up and here. I think my mom and probably Avi can use these, and she hands you the bag of gems. I guess call it rent, but cool. I guess I'll. Can we talk about this later?
Yeah,
I can't.
You get
Yeah.
some rest, and I'll go grab you some water.
Thank you. She you hear kind of clinking as coins shift as she slumps back into the bed.
I'll just go down, be like, and go to Angela and just, hey, Lear said that you could have these, and just give her the bag of gems, and then just dish up a plate and some water and take it up, drop it
Gonna
off,
look
and come back
inside
down.
and go.
I'll look over her shoulder.
I'm gonna see if there are any diamonds in here.
There are two that would. What was the total amount of gems that I said there were?
2,500 gold worth.
Yeah, so two of those are diamonds that are in the right vein.
Oh. See, and I don't think, and she doesn't even know what happened. We're gonna take a diamond over and hand it to Abby
Oh, perfect.
All right.
in
Can I
case
hang
I
on to
get
the other
in
one? of those?
trouble again. Yes, yeah, and you get the other one.
What's with the shiny rocks?
Well,
Ah.
they are they are typically used in engagements and some spells, as well as they are crafted by millions of years of pressure inside of a mountain, inside rocks, and that's the short.
What was he talking about?
Shiny rocks.
Right.
Real
shiny
pretty. Bring
rocks.
people back from the dead.
Which we have needed to use now and then.
Was there anything else we need to square away before we go bail old Samuel out?
I'm
I
good.
don't think so.
We're going to need to procure some apples.
More apples?
Sweet. Don't we
I
just
used
have a barrel of
apples.
those in the back?
I used apples to figure out where Mav was.
We're gonna give this just
Wait.
a little bit of television timing, and the pantry door kind of swings open, and you see there's a large barrel in the middle of the pantry, apples and cores kind of spewing out. A couple of them roll out, and there's a short unicorn who's just kind of sitting and just going to town on this barrel of apples. It is Bruce.
Bruce.
Wait,
Someone
you
just has
used
all the like.
Destroyer.
you used apples to find where Mav? You know where Mav is?
Yes.
I missed some. Let's just. You guys know. Let's go. Let's just do the thing.
We'll fill you in on the way.
And you all head out. You know the direction of the nearest outpost of the Vigilant Watch. It's a short ways away. They have a number of locations. Rathmus gave the correct one to you. So after about 45 minutes of working your way through the streets of Avarice, it is a large, pretty Spartan stone barracks kind of structure. Single story, a low wall kind of surrounds it, with a
Is there-
large.
Is there a
Sorry.
guard just out front, like keeping watch?
There is surprisingly not. This is not it's inside the city, and with the walls, there are no windows. There is one large portcullis that through which you can see a short ways away, a guard kind of leaning against an inner gate, but there are no exterior guards.
I'm gonna just start to approach the guard at the gate.
Okay, so I'm going to, I know we have a map for our reference. I'm just going to open this up. You can see he's off a ways, so there's a short walk, about 30 feet of open space as you approach. The gate is this southernmost point. He kind of takes a few steps forward and calls out, "Oh, what need have you with us?"
I say, "Hello, good sir. My family is wanting to do an inspection of the barracks today, as you've no doubt heard of the recent destruction of part of the city. My family wants to see firsthand the inside of the barracks, and I
He's-
show
this
him
guy
my
really.
the insignia on my coin purse.
He's gonna take a few more steps up, able to get a better look at that insignia. The rest of you see he immediately snaps to attention. He goes, "Yes, sir, Sir Quinton. Give me just a moment." He steps and pulls a lever, and the portcullis begins to raise up. And apparently, all the songs in this little batch are just like vibey
Jaunty.
space songs. Skip a little ways on the playlist. And as that opens up, he kind of looks over your shoulder and goes, "Sir, I'm sure you're aware, but common procedures that you yourself are well allowed to inspect. Your companions should wait in the entryway for
Yes.
security. One of them can come with you, but we can't simply allow this
I
number
just-
of individuals."
I understand your procedures, and I palm 5 gold, and I just go to shake his hand with the 5 gold, and I say, I don't think we'll have a problem here today, sir, right?
I'm gonna need you to make a perception or a persuasion check.
Okay.
I walk up behind. Is there a problem? And I cast guidance
Okay.
Sweet.
Which guidance gives him a D4,
for
right?
D4. Yep.
I got a 3.
Jesus Christ.
Plus a D4. Plus a D4.
Yeah, plus a D4.
I got 7 total.
He looks kind of in his hand to the gold. He goes, "Ah." He hands it back. He goes, "No, sir. There's no corruption amongst the Vigilant Watch. You and one of yours can enter. You're not going to find any of us quite so easy. Your inspection should proceed. Everything top notch, sir.
Oh, okay.
Well
As,
done. I really didn't think this through much before.
As the failed bribe does not go through, Doman, who was sitting in the passenger side of the skimmer, will lean back and look like he's about to go take a nap, and cast mislead, which creates an illusory double in the location I am the second I go invisible, and my real self, invisible, will get out of the car, and my illusory double will pretend to go to sleep in the car, and I will just come up and wait behind Quinnington as he goes in for his inspection.
Okay.
Well, I'll pick
Quinnington,
Sai as the one that the other one I'm allowed to bring in.
okay.
Right.
So the two of you, Angel and Averin, you are allowed in this front area. You're allowed to kind of hang out. It is pretty barren.
So Averin's gonna try to go in with them.
I look back to Averin and shake my head.
Oh, okay. And then I look like I'm powering down.
Averin, I see what you go. Give me a deception check.
Oh fuck, this is not good. Oh, nat 20.
Wow.
Sir, I your automaton can join you as well. Your construct servant. It's just other individuals. Where he's not a person. We can.
Excellent.
I don't suppose it'd be against the rules.
Come along. Come along.
Okay. If we can just get pieces on the board, if people can drop tokens,
Mine is
just
not
so I
here,
can keep track of it.
so I don't know what happened to mine, so I'm gonna be a cogwheel.
I don't know
Another
what
cog in the
Quinnington is,
machine.
but
I don't have a map.
Refresh your browser.
Okay. Try it again. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Let me just send you another
Loading
Link
please
it in.
wait.
just in case it. I think it's different.
You can also move the screen around. It may not be in the center for you.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta zoom out,
Yeah, zoom out, zoom in.
so it should have a grid.
I'm just gonna clear the next little section of.
It's weird because I had all the music going, so it should
Yeah,
have
and
been
it shows that you're in
Yeah,
here.
it shows that you're in.
yeah, you sure you don't just need to zoom out?
Scroll down on your mouse.
I've been scrolling for a
Yeah.
while.
Okay.
Weird. Well, so we'll go mostly theater of the mind. This was more for reference, just so we had a little bit of an idea. I was walking through. He leads up on the northern end of the room. There's a large wooden doorway, which he leans against and he whispers something. At which point you hear zzz, chink, kunk, 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 as some hidden mechanisms shift, and he pushes the door, now unlocked, open. It extends into a hallway. You'll find, sir, that our security systems are top notch, and he begins to kind of lead through. Two
Question.
more doorways. Oh yeah,
Could I see his lips?
yeah.
Okay. So I have the observant feat. So anytime a creature mouth is speaking a language I can understand, I can interpret it.
So what he did is he leaned in and it was just a passcode, but he whispered crimson.
Crimson. Okay.
Crimson. You'll find our security systems are top notch. The standard arcane wards that would protect even the core spire of Avarice are placed here. And he gestures down the western hallway. West. Gotcha. Yes. Uh, which you see another guard standing, kind of leaning against a spear, um, who looks and kind of begins to turn to look at you, but as the guard leading you nods, he relaxes a little bit. So the vault, uh, which he guards, is nigh as impervious as the steel vault banks. Mostly, what we keep here is evidence lockup, contraband, and things that have been collected from the streets to keep the people safe. Across from it is our dining hall, cafeteria, and recreation room. To the right, our armory. To the east wall, he gestures. Here is the barracks room and the armory, so that we can spring into action as needed at the city's defense. Is there anything you'd wish to inspect in closer detail, sir?
Yes, we should. I would very much like to see both the armory and the barracks.
Of course. He opens the door for you. This one does not have the same lock. He taking you over to the door. The barracks and armory. The barracks, there are 2 other guards that are all currently resting in beds. You can just kind of see through. It's a steel barred door, kind of like a jail cell door, so you can see through it just fine. The armory itself is filled with what seem primarily to be mundane spears and swords and shields. The armory is far more equipped than would be needed by the few guards that are here today. We can quickly outfit a militia or off-duty officers in a time of crisis.
Very good. It seems like our preparations are looking up to par.
Indeed. The northern door that you saw is the holding cells for some of the more dangerous criminals that have yet to be shipped to the encampments, the mining camps, being held currently or are part of a current investigation.
I'd very much like to see the schmuck that you have that you've collected off the streets.
I don't know that would be entirely necessary, sir. That's the majority of the security systems are up here. We have a few more guards, and downstairs it's just cells and a few more guards.
Sir, the to-do list states that we are to inspect the cells to make sure there is no issues.
As
Just
the
real quick,
time-
Angela, you doing anything right now, or are you just kind of hanging out in that?
Angel's just gonna wait
Okay, right.
until see if there are any other officers that kind of take his place and chat him up for any information she can get. But otherwise,
Okay.
just hanging out.
David, because of the natural 20-year-old, he is assuming you are just pretty much a large calculator. He walks over and he knocks on the barracks door. He goes, Karamis, can you escort Lord Quinnington into the dungeons just so he can inspect the cells? The guard closer to the door, rousing us. Sure, I suppose so. He looks at Sai, and right now, as he comes out of the door, I'm going to need Doman to make his stealth check at advantage. And the guard that let you in is going to make his way back out to resume his point where he's watching.
I rolled a 19 and a 20.
Yeah, no, you're good. You, as
24.
the door like
Oh, yeah.
pushes open, you just kind of like step back with it so that it does not hit you and cause concern. Jell, you see the first guard comes back out and kind of resumes his position. He nods at you and then kind of goes back into his parade rest guard position. I guess the three of you, Lord Goodington, and he nods at Sai. Or
Sorry to wake you, sir, but we're doing a routine inspection of the barracks and the cell holdings after the REITs and break-ins that we've had through the city, just to make sure they're up to snuff. I'm sure you understand.
sure, that's you cut through the red tape a bit quicker than usually happens. Wouldn't expect expect an inspection. Well, that's a weird phrase. For probably a few weeks after an event like last night's.
You just drew the short straw, and you're first on my list.
Bad business. Almost as bad as whatever happened yesterday. But all right, this way. He leads you up to the north end of the hallway, which he leans in, and he is going to he leans in and is going to try to turn himself a little bit further away as he whispers something to this door. You can make a perception check if you'd like to try to catch it. Sai.
You're not gonna believe this, but natural 20 for a 28.
You guys are rolling hot.
This is awful. This is so bad because that means when we get into combat, it's gonna be terrible.
He whispers salmon to this door.
Salmon.
Which opens up another short hallway, which he leads you to a flight of stairs, and he begins to walk down.
I'm gonna go ahead and just follow this lead.
Go. Which
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, there's a new map downstairs. Right, as we were telling you, state-of-the-art security, yada. Jacobson, other guard nods. Kaysen, they're brothers. Parents weren't all that creative with the names. And I suppose look around however you'd like. Just know all the doors are warded. If you need in to a cell for whatever reason, ask, because otherwise it'll blow your fingers off. And
I chuckle at that.
Kaysen, as he hears that and you laugh, he holds up a hand and wiggles his two remaining fingers at you.
Whoopsies.
Does that first guard go back upstairs, or is it the three of us now?
He is staying at the base of the stairs. You're free to move around in this hallway as you'd like. Doman, I noticed you've already moved to look in that southernmost door. You see there is a thin elven man who's curled up on a cot. He is fully nude. He just has a thin scrap of blanket that's kind of covering up the genteel bits. The northern end, Avron, where you're at, you see there is a dwarven woman who is up. She's chained onto that wooden X. She has also been stripped nude. There's a number of red lashes. This is not BDSM. This is. Come on, Ray.
It's a different dungeon.
You're stripping them nude and putting them up on crosses?
Hey.
Come on.
Okay, so some people get off on it. This is legit torture techniques. If you break, the first step in breaking somebody down is get them naked. Okay?
Yeah, in both cases.
That's the point.
I'm sorry.
Look, if this is gonna be the magical engineering box opener, if this is gonna be the portal from the tree in campaign 1, gonna have problems.
I'll be good. I'll behave. I promise.
Yeah. Also, Anthony, when I switched the map, did it pull up for you that time?
Nope.
Because I changed the loaded file.
I just have the same blank.
That is weird.
And you still have music and all that, right?
I don't have music anymore. It's all brick.
I-
now.
Well, the
Currently,
music's
it's,
gone
currently
at
it's
the
being
moment.
really quiet. Let's,
But,
Notice you
um,
can zoom all the way out and find entirely blank screens. So if you zoom all the way out and then drag and move, can you find it eventually?
I
I don't know what the.
I think it technically gives us like infinite space, and so it can
Oh,
be.
I'll try and relaunch it and see if it'll go. But
No, worry. It's not important right now. Just if we need to have it, I'd prefer that you did have it and not need it than need to not have it. Going through inspecting the additional cells, Dome in the next cell on the southern edge, the figure who's inside seems small, but you cannot make out details. They're fully covered in the small, thin blanket that they have.
So-
The next
sorry.
ones. There's another prisoner in the northern, that third north room. This is an elven man, or just sorry, elven man was bottom left. The human man, who is just sitting and he is kind of flipping through a tattered book. He is aged. He looks like he's been there for a while. The door there are two small cells at the end, with nobody in them. The door at the very end of the hallway you cannot see through. There are no windows to this. Feel free to give me a perception check.
do I
That-
know who we're even looking for? I don't even know if I've had a description given to me.
You were there. It is same. He is a pale, black-haired gnome who was just a significant number of tattoos, is what you were all told. I think you were all there when Rathmus was giving the
Okay.
description.
I got the map up now. I had to disable all my ad blockers and stuff. And
That makes sense.
27
blockers.
perception.
27. Cannot see through it, but you do hear unnaturally muffled noises, but you can make out there are voices. One that is kind of that call you, followed by what could be, if you had with a 27, if you had to imagine what it would sound like, somebody screaming in pain through a wet rag.
Understood.
That's what you meant. Kaysen puts up his hand and goes, "Sorry, sir. Inspection or no, this room's off limits."
Oh no, totally. Kaysen, how does one join the Vigilant Watch? Kind of thinking about it.
You can just sign up with a recruiter upstairs. That's the guard who lets you in, Palmer. He could sign you up. It comes with pretty good benefits package. They helped me get my first home in the city. Nothing too fancy, but
Do they take care of your hand?
yeah, the medical benefits are pretty good. I'm actually studying pottery too, and they're paying for it, all of it. And that's sponsoring me for a minor apprenticeship in the crafting guild.
Oh.
Pretty sweet deal.
Not gonna lie, you don't look
Ball
like
size.
the pottery type.
That's well, used to be in woodworking, but given I've only got so many of these left, stay away from sharp objects.
And wards.
And it's actually, I've learned that the missing part of the hand makes it easier to get into the top when you're making a vase. You get those nice curved. That's why dwarves and gnomes make such good craftsmen, is they've got small hands.
I'll just try to continue this conversation for like a few minutes.
While he's chatting up the guard, I'm gonna just see if I can't try the doorknob to the waterboarding room, and see if it's locked or unlocked.
It is locked.
No explosions.
No
This was in
explosions
the
on
cell,
this one.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is not a cell.
Well, hey, you never know what kind of fucking enchantments they put on that shit. But so Avron's going through, and keeping up the facade and going through and inspecting each door thoroughly and looking for imperfections specifically to exploit them.
Okay. There are magical runes that are in place, and this is a common enough spell that after a moment of looking at it, you'd be pretty familiar with it. There is a reasonably complex glyph of warding put on each door.
Okay.
If you'd like to make an Arcana check, you can try to figure out what particular glyph is on there.
Sure.
I asked the person that helped us down the stairs. I asked him if he has a manifesto of the people and the crimes that they were charged with committing.
Not in so much detail. Most of that's kept. We have a ledger office about a half mile away. This is more
You guys don't
holding
even
and security.
keep your own ledger here?
It's some kind of bureaucracy. We have some details they're kept in that office up in the barracks upstairs. We've got a book that just has name, age, crime suspected or crime committed. The more details we keep at the holding office, mainly just for booking and giving to the press, due to information control, all that. Never keep all your eggs in one basket.
I can understand that. Could you open this door over here with this dwarf lady in it?
Sure, sir. This is. I do not have names for all the prisoners. So give me 1 second. Just get that pulled up. Give me a nice generic. I want a lady dwarf name that I can pronounce, preferably. This is Dalo. She's wanted. She's been convicted of multiple counts of aggravated assault and 1 charge of murder.
Who'd she kill?
The husband, in it. It's always the husband. But he places his hand in the center of one of the arcane runes, and it flashes a couple times, and you watch he like closes his eyes, and it flashes blue, and the door swings open. Hey,
You look a little nervous there. What was
sure.
that about?
You saw Kaysen's hand, didn't you? That's the wizard that we had put it in had forgotten to get him onto the directory, which is this whole thing. I don't understand the magic of it, but apparently there's a book we've got in the vault that if your name's in it, it's tied somehow to the runes and the runes that you pass through. But I don't fucking know how it works, and apparently they misspelt his name and it didn't work. But I suppose you can talk to Dalo as much as you want.
I appreciate
Bit of
it.
a
And
bitch,
then just
if you ask me.
walk in and start a conversation with Dalo.
You walk in and she kind of like lifts her head. Fuck off.
You can fuck off. I'm not gonna fuck off anywhere.
You the one that came into my room, ain't you? I ain't fucking off. I'm having a nap.
It's a pleasant room.
Yeah.
You're having a good time in your room.
Jeez, is this some new kind of fucking torture?
I don't know what you mean. We're just having a conversation.
Sure. And the strips of torn flesh on my chest and back are just tattoos, and I do them for fun.
Yeah, each our own. I don't judge.
Just, can you please bring the person with the knife and the whip back? I prefer it over this. Unless you're here to get me out.
No, afraid not. You just can be here with my pleasant company.
Jesus, I'd rather fucking die.
Well, sis- seems. I turn around and walk out. I'm like, seems like a cheery person.
Told you she was a bitch. And he pulls the door shut again. The rune flashes blue twice and then turns red.
Hey,
Avern, what did you get on your Arcana check?
So I feel like I'm going to regret these rolls later, but right now I'm loving them. 27.
Okay. The first door you check, it has two interlaced warding glyphs, and then one connected, which kind of for overhearing you think must be what ties them to the book. There's one that is your classic exploding runes glyph. These are not the basic glyphs; they are absolutely cast at higher level than third level. You don't know what level, but you would guess fourth or fifth. There is a spell glyph as well, which you know can cast a fourth or fifth level spell. You know that it is a conjuration spell, but you're not sure what.
Okay.
I'm gonna once I get back out, I'm gonna ask if he could take me and the everybody to the vault next.
I suppose. So you done with your inspection here? You didn't want to talk to any of the other prisoners?
Well, if they're in as good a mood as that lady was, and I don't see a real reason why. It seems like you guys are doing your job quite adamantly.
That's what I told you, and you wanted to come down here. But sure.
Sir Quentington, inspection is not complete on doors.
The Autonomon's right. And let's just get this over with. I ask him to open the other doors as well.
And he goes and just one by one will activate it the same way. And you see, he's now a little bit more confident that the first one didn't blow his hand off. He walks up and opens, whether there's a prisoner in it or not. He'll open the door for you so you can enter. You realize each of the prisoners is connected within the cell by a length of chain. The elven, and none of them really none of the prisoners really pay attention to you. Give me an insight check, Quinnington.
How about another 4?
Another 4. Yeah, that's nothing. The biggest reaction you get is the human in that northeasternmost cell, who's reading the book. Looks up at you and gives you an odd glance. Like you recognize that it's not just like a casual like looking you over, but
What are you looking at?
the shiny big fuck that just walked in my cell. What are you looking at?
Sad disappointment sitting on a wooden bench.
You'd be surprised to hear that's not the first time I've heard that.
The little fuck?
I mean, just generally the disappointment bit. Been around.
Oh, this just got sad.
Can I get back to my book?
What are you reading?
Flips it over and goes, Parenthetical Philosophies of the Wandering Soul.
Odd book to be reading in a prison.
Oh, yeah, well, that's given my vast library, and he gestures at the nun books around him.
None.
I'll fucking take it.
Okay.
Do you want to give it a look over? And he kind of goes to offers to hand you the book.
Sure. And take the book.
Cool. Make a
Oops.
perception check really quick.
Please have more than a 3. I got a 14.
14. Give me one sec. Sorry, there's like a fighter jet passing over my house right now. Okay, yeah. Now then, he hands you the book. With a 14, you see there is, like, as he leans forward, underneath the corner of his, like, the cover, there is a broken, sharpened piece of something that is under the blanket. His hand's not on it.
Okay.
Nothing too fancy about the book, though. It is just like a collection of philosophical allegories and parables.
I hold the
other
book up.
fancy words.
I hold the book up upside down and start paging through the book. And then
That's
hand
fine.
him back the book.
Thank you for the visit. This is the most conversation that has involved me getting hit in the face than I've had in about a week.
Okay. Move on to the next cell.
As you leave, the guard goes, "Hey, that's Frederick. He's probably the most polite pickpocket we've ever had in here."
I check my coin purse.
It is gone.
Oh fuck.
I look at the guard. Well, he ain't going to be polite for very much longer. I asked him to open it back up.
You hear, nope, don't worry about opening the door. And you see just through the grated window, the coin purse kind of flops out. Can't keep it with you. You know what they say.
Double check to see if anything's been removed.
That was just he had just pulled your coin purse.
Okay.
To be clear, that was me rolling a natural 20 on his pickpocket. Or his sleight of hand. There's a couple more cells that are empty, but there is one that has the figure who's completely covered in his blankets. He opens that one for you. Yeah. We don't know this one's name. We think he's some sort of smuggler or something. That's he was moving a number of alchemical and artificiary tools and equipment through the slums. So we only can assume they've been stolen, but he's not speaking at all.
Interesting. I asked my automaton friend, anything special on this one?
Well, I'm actually going to look over the door, specifically.
Similar markings to the previous ones, like riding with your last roll. It's same 2 warding runes and then 1 connecting it to a separate object.
Sorry. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Terrible timing. My child has just called me. Give me a second.
No, you're good. As everyone's looking over the wards and runes to double check, we're gonna go back upstairs, Angel. You've been hanging out in the upper level of this guardhouse with the guard.
Palmer.
So Angela's gonna kind of lean against the wall, kind of like a chill guard would, one that's not really, worried because there's no superiors around or anything like that. I'm just gonna say, that was quite smart of you to turn down the gold. You'd be surprised how many times that one works.
Yeah, they've tried it on me a few times. One of my buddies that was maybe we're gonna call it manning the door on the last inspection. He fell for it, and he is stationed at one of the outposts. And as much as guard duty can suck, I prefer to stay inside the walls, away from the savages and monsters out in the waste. You know.
I hear you there.
And also, if you're gonna try to bribe somebody, 5 gold nowadays, it's not worth anything. That's you see the armor that prick was wearing? That's 5 gold is he probably shits that out every morning with breakfast.
You tell me about it. I'm with him all the time. It's awful. The way he just throws money away. Ugh.
It's anytime one of those upper officers come back. He seems polite enough, but come from a rich family, and odds are you're some kind of asshole.
Yes, it's just that he just doesn't understand. He doesn't know what it's like to actually have to struggle and work for something.
Well, yeah, you can't judge people too harshly for it. It's just their lives. Some are luckier than others.
Yes, he tries to be nice, but there's always that.
So he was his guard, his girlfriend.
Oh,
What's your story?
I'd love to tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Make a deception check.
He doesn't
I mean,
believe
it's
it.
a
He turns
joke.
it way too much.
The deception is that it's a joke.
Oh, okay. 22.
22. Yeah, no, he thinks you're. He laughs. That's a good one. They're taking a while. That's see, having the Rubit check every single one of the runes and shit.
I'm sure. He really loves to use that little device of his.
Just
So
then,
if you have any... Sorry. Okay.
just then, Doman's double will walk up behind Ange and put his hand on her shoulder and say, "I need the lockpick kit out of the sand skimmer, if you would." And gestures to the glove that transfers items between us.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I can do that.
And I'll walk back. Well, he'll walk back with her to the sand skimmer.
We'll be
Okay.
back. We'll chat later. And I'll go and act like I'm looking through something for a minute and then get it and...
Set it off. Perfect. For those of you watching, these two have an item that if it is less than, is it 5 pounds? Is the weight limit we put on that?
I believe it's 5 pounds.
I think,
Yeah.
I think
Believe
it's
it was
5
5
pounds. Avern made it for them, but if one of them holds it in the gloved hand, they can make it so the other person, they can close their hand and the other person will be holding it, assuming that
The
they
item-
have the hand open to take it.
The item says 25 pounds, which I'm going to assume is a typo.
Yeah, fine. We can say 25 pounds.
I know.
That's,
I know it was like. I
Small
was
dog?
gonna say. I
Small
think it was
dog?
more than 5. I thought it was like 10 to 15.
Yeah, well, we can say 25. It has to be. You have to be able to hold it in one hand because it was one of those. We based it off. There was a weight of like there's a weapon or something. There was an item that we based it off of, like
Yeah.
how what. So 25 pounds. You have to be able to hold it in one hand.
Okay.
It's like a bowling ball. It's like the upper limit of your.
That's pretty heavy bowling ball, but
Maybe he
Uh,
just sends a few tools or the tools he needs instead of
Yeah.
the whole kit. But
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
But yeah, lockpick kit is now in Doman's invisible hands. Angel, do you stay outside or do you go back into that foyer to keep talking to the guard?
Go back in and talk more to the guard. But we can-
Is there any
transfer
particular
back to
information
the-
you're trying to get, or are you just trying to like kind of ingratiate yourself and become buddies?
Ingratiate, become buddies, and then I was gonna ask him about any crazy people that have come in lately in stories or whatever.
Okay. I'm not even gonna make a roll for that. That's you've been making an effort to be fun. He talks about he mentions the same. There's the individual, the gnome artificer that they had captured that had clearly stolen a bunch of artificers' tools, supplies, and equipment, and was moving them through the slums. they caught, weirdly enough, another gnome that was trying to sneak into the city. They think he was a wastelander that didn't have a trading permit or anything to get in. They've been trying to. That's the one that's been the big mystery. This heavily tattooed gnome, like clearly criminal gnome, that has shown up trying to break through one of the small breaches that can appear in the wall. And they've been working him, trying to figure out what he was doing.
Okay. And then we can go back to everybody else.
What is everybody else up to?
So sorry, what was it exactly that you were asking me when I was?
We're
You're
We're
inspecting the
looking-
door.
which
Right.
door? Can you move your character to?
It would be this door, the one over here with the. There's a small figure under a blanket in this one.
And do I know which room we're looking for at this point?
You would say odds are it's the locked one that they will not let you in.
That's the one at the-
Investigation,
That's the one
inspection
at
or
the end
not.
of the hall?
Yeah, that is this one.
Okay.
Well, the other couple guards have kind of like moved around the one who brought you down to the base of the stairs. He's kind of not pacing, but like kind of wandering, tapping on the wall, trying to look busy. And the other guard that's been kind of showing you around, he reaches and he undoes the arcane ward for you. The figure on as the door kind of pushes open, the figure in the inside of the room shifts a little bit. But doesn't uncover himself in the blanket. Okay, so and we don't know his name. Haven't been able to get anything from him. That's
So I'm gonna leave the door, like just open the door all the way and then head in. And I like kind of just rip off the sheet.
make an
Makes-
opposed athletics check. This is not gonna go well for this dude.
athletics.
Huh?
check?
Yep. Because as you grab the blanket,
24.
he grabs on. Yeah, he hit 17. And that was 17 on the die. Grabs it, and there's a little bit of resistance, but you just rip it back. And Averin, on the bed in front of you is a small gnomish figure. You recognize that, like the guard outside, is missing several fingers from his left hand. He has though you recognize Balin Halfhand.
Yep.
He has clearly been beat to shit. He's dehydrated. His lips are cracking. His eyes have been removed.
Oh,
Oh
fuck.
God.
Damn.
He has bloodied like bandages
Jesus,
covering the
man.
top of his face.
What have you done to this poor man?
I haven't done anything, but
He has
standard.
a hand and fucking no eyes. What do you mean you haven't done anything?
The hand was like that when he came in. It's standard procedure, sir. He was clearly smuggling a large amount of dangerous artificiary equipment without the proper licenses. We've been trying to figure out who it's for, where he got it, what he intends to do. He had several thousand golds worth of magically charged gems, and he has provided no information. Our thought is whatever it's for, it's not to the benefit of the city, and the amount of willpower he's shown in not telling us means that it could only be for something illicit.
I start to shout now and bang on the door and say, "Good God, sir, you've dismembered an entire man and you have nothing? The other cell has a guy with a fucking knife under his bed. What kind of ship are you running here? You can't get the information out of one guy, and then a pickpocket steals me in the open and with a knife under his bed?"
Before any rolls, you hear from that northern room, Like, please leave me out of this. And then cling, 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 cling as the small, it's just a small sharpened like spoon that the handle has been like worn down. Ting, ting, it like lands out in the middle of the, from the distance.
Me. Do you want my lord? Do you want the
I
lords
didn't.
coming down to the first floor and have them come and watch how you're doing your job, sir?
Give me an intimidation check at advantage.
Oh.
As Quinnington's trying to stir everybody up, I would like to walk over to the cell with the dwarf in it.
Okay.
And use, because you can have 3 active things of prestidigitation up at the same time. I would like to do 1 that sounds like chains breaking, 2 that sounds like a dwarven woman hitting the floor, and 3 that's an imitation of her voice saying "finally."
Okay. Give me a deception check. You can use your spell attack modifier or your deception, whichever is higher. I know as a warlock, it's charisma based.
Right.
What was your intimidation check?
My intimidation was an 18.
18. You're yelling, and he begins to like kind of shrink back, and you see that like that person customer service that just kind of finally snaps. He got a 19 on his insight, but he like cracks his jaw and goes, "Sir, you're welcome to call my supervisor. I'm sure the magistrate of the district would love to come down, and you can explain how during your inspection you managed to have your purse stolen by one of the inmates. You brought well over the regulated number of guests with you on inspection, one of which we've decided to overlook given the autonomous nature and the fact that he is more of a tool than a person. And at this point, the irregularity of such an unscheduled inspection, and I'm sorry, sir, frankly, the attitude you have decided it appropriate to take with me and my men. I think I'd be happy to speak with my magistrate if that's what you desire." And he just looks you full in the eye, and then you hear clink, but finally. And he goes, "But this is going to have to wait a moment." And he grabs the door and pulls it shut.
With me in the room?
Yeah.
Am I with him in the room?
No, we'll say when you started yelling at him, he had stayed in the hallway. Did you step out to like face him?
Oh no, I was like up in his grill.
Okay, so you were outside of the room.
Without me.
No, he reached past you to pull it shut just because leaving it open. Puts his hand on not his sword, but the like truncheon, the blunt kind of billy club at his hip, pulls it loose and begins walking towards the dwarven woman's cell. And then the guard who is at the base of the stairs like does the same thing. He pulls out the blunt club that he has and begins making his way to look into the window.
As I walk away from doing that prestidigitation, I'm also going to I'll drop the prestidigitation after the sound goes away, and then immediately cast Mage Hand on the cell opposing, and just full on grab the bar and see if I can't set off the explosion with Mage Hand.
Okay, this one?
Walking away. Yeah.
Okay.
And as they're all walking away, I'm also going to look at Kaisen and be like, "Oh shit, think they need your help?"
What is the range on this? This is Angel. What were you about to say?
Angel, as she hears about the fact that there are 2 gnomes, she's going to lead conversation into whatever and be like, "Oh, do you mind if I write that down? I need to remember that place, like it was a recommendation or something." And it's gonna take out a piece of paper and write down a note to Dolman saying that there are 2 gnomes. One of them has tattoos, the other one is not, etc. That info, and send it to him.
Which will appear in your hand. At about that time, the mage hand grabs onto the door. There is a massive detonation It does not. It is not within range to actually hit anybody. Everybody is just outside of the range. But there is just the door is left intact, but there is just a wave of heat that like washes over all of you, and you hear like a staticky crackle with no target. The mage hand that you've summoned is moved to just the other side of the door.
The inside?
Yep. So there's a detonate. There's fire and then a small teleportation vortex warp, which is cast on the mage hand and teleports it just into the cell.
Okay, cool.
You now know the runes on the door will light you on fire and then lock you in a cell.
As the guy turns to like pull out his truncheon and walk away, I get back in front of him, like, we're not done, sir.
Okay, so
So
he would
much
have been walking away,
chaos.
so you would have moved like there to get in front of him.
Yeah.
He is moving towards what he thinks could potentially be a prisoner break. I'm gonna need one more intimidation check. This is not going to be an advantage. This is just regular, and I'm not going to do a opposed roll. This is a DC 15. If you fail, he is going to try to like knock you down, so that he can get to the door.
Got a 11.
11. Okay, this is opposed. This is opposed athletics, which again you're very good at. I believe he is pretty good at as well.
Wait, you did athletics or intimidation? Because you said intimidation.
Yeah, but now you're doing opposed athletics because you
Oh, okay.
you are not intimidating him out of like stopping to you. He goes, I understand, but work comes first, and he like is gonna try to do like a shoulder toss. Like as you get in his way, he grabs you by the arm and hip and is gonna try to just check you out of his way. What was your athletics?
I've done athletics. 15.
21 from him. So you watch
Oh my god!
as
hip checked.
Whittington gets full like WWE like over the shoulder. No damage, but you are prone, and he just throws you on the ground. You stand about 1.5 feet taller than this guy. He's a pretty average like height human. This is just military training as he catches, checks you, and then moves to look through the door, which they're going to spend a moment figuring out where that count came from because she is clearly just still hung up. He's going to open the door and he steps in and is going to begin investigating her chains. What are the rest of you doing?
Did the guard next to the big set of doors make any sort of reaction at all?
With the explosion, which is going to be we're going to say like right after this guard goes in. So we have confrontation between Quinton and the guard, distraction, secondary confrontation. He goes in. Doman, you get the note as the mage hand triggers the detonation. The guard in here, when the sigil is triggered, any open doors, which is just the one he just went through, swing shut, and the rune flashes red. The guard next to this door looks at Sai and goes, "Don't touch this door," and is going to run 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50, 60. He's going to just start sprinting towards this door now that after the explosion has gone off. Upstairs, Angel, you hear the detonation as well. It is loud. In addition, you hear a wing, wing, wing. And the guard goes, "Fucking Jason." He stays there. He stays there. But he looks at you and goes, "I'm gonna have to ask you to stay here with me. I'm sure it's nothing. This has unfortunately happened before. They'll send word in a moment, but until then, stay here."
I'm not worried.
Perfect. Back down the stairs. What are Doman, Avi, Cunnington, and Sai doing?
As I guess as he gets hip checked, Avron's going to walk up to Quinnington, lift him up. Is it time to engage defensive protocol?
I just say, not yet, not yet. I ask him to continue his work.
Sai's gonna just make sure nobody's looking, and then he's gonna turn around and just lightly say "Crimson" to the door and see if it opens.
Crimson.
Nothing.
Try salmon,
Um,
as long as nobody's
Nothing.
looking. Okay, that's all I had.
Doman will he'll have the lock picking kit that he got from Angel out until the alarm starts going off, and he gets an idea in his head, and he like puts his ear to the door and sees if he can tell if there's commotion on the other side of the door as well, or if they're still going about their business.
Okay, make a perception check.
Okie dokie. An 18 plus whatever my perception is. A 19.
19. Yeah, you hear. Unfortunate. Right, back into the cage, little rat. And some scuffling, and you hear, "You'll never get me to fucking talk. I'll never tell you anything. Bite your fucking lips off if you come near."
I will step back from the door because I assume people are coming back out of it.
Okay, step back. Give
And
it a
I will
moment. There's some.
I will say, since like I tried that and nothing worked, I'm gonna step away from the door, just so like it's very clear if anything happens, I was not near it.
So, on the flip side of that, Avron is going to go in and start inspecting that door.
Which one? The big one at the end?
Yep.
Okay. Go for it. I say, Sai and Doan and Evren, with just passive perceptions alone, you hear on the other side, the door does not open, but you hear kind of over the yelling, you hear a kind of a creaking metal grate, a soft thud, and and then the grate slams shut again, like a closing sound.
Doman will like knee slide back up to the door as soon as he realizes it and just try and make up some time with the lockpick.
You and Avron kind of bumping into each other. Avron's
Yeah.
inspecting. Avron,
Yeah.
this one surprisingly is clear of runes.
Okay.
It does appear to have a similar locking mechanism to the doors upstairs. Doman, if you'd like to make a sleight of hand check to pick the lock.
Realizing Doman is here, guidance.
There you go. And
well, if I can get
just for because I just want to see this. What are the odds that Sai would go crimson, salmon, and then try it just another random color?
Probably not. Honestly,
Okay.
I was
So
thinking
you're
about
wel-
it, but
You're
probably
welcome
not.
to just say a random color if you'd like.
No, at this point, I'll probably like just start moving towards the towards Kaysen or Kaysen, whatever his name is, and just
Generic guard
Yeah.
names.
Yellow-
they're not written down. I've probably called them different names each time I've said
yeah,
anything.
I'll just yell like, "Hey, do you need a hand? Oh shit, I didn't mean it that way. Do you need help?"
Did you use some fingers?
Did they ever close the gnome's door? Or is the gnome's door that I
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah,
the one
he
that he
reached
reached
under.
past you to pull it shut
Okay.
before going to check. We're gonna ask each of you just to stay where you are. Don't touch anything. We need to figure out if somebody's invisible here. And then one of them takes a spear from his back and just kind of starts sweeping in the hallway. He's not like stabbing; it's just very like prodding stick to try to find anything. Is just sweeping. With the situation we're in, just for order, not necessarily combat, if each of you can roll initiative for me.
That's not great, but not terrible.
17.
19.
17 as well, actually.
19,
6.
17. Everin?
11.
Okay.
Pretty good spread, actually. It's not terrible.
Yeah. Sai, it is on you.
Seeing or hearing them say like, we're gonna try to see if somebody's invisible here and kind of moving their things around. What is my deception? Okay, I'm just gonna like sit down and say I might be able to help with that, and just sit down and kind of start to meditate and just make it look like I'm doing something. I'm not gonna like move in a gesture to cast anything, but I'm just gonna start meditating and yeah.
Okay. Doman.
Well, I was trying to unlock the door as speedily as I could. I rolled a 17 on the die, plus 4 for sleight of hand, plus 1 for guidance. Is what, 22?
The first lock on the door comes undone.
The first lock.
There's a second one.
Here, click. Because remember, upstairs you heard the code and you heard chunk, chunk, chunk.
Gonna keep going.
There's 3 different locks. Okay. Give me another one, because that one was prior to the initiative roll. Give me another check.
That's no guidance, but that is also a 17. So for 21.
For 21, yeah. Second one, you get the second one. Where is he's gonna stay there. Sir Quinnington. I'm jumping back to the correct map. Sorry, jumping between 2 levels is.
Okay, so is there 1 guard or 2 guards in the room with the chick?
There's 1 guard. So the guards are the helmet looking.
But it like
tokens.
locked, right? Like you said
yes, it shut and went.
Okay.
Wink, wink, wink.
Captain Pooh is now locked in with the dwarf.
Yes, the guy
Okay.
is apparently the leader is locked in that room.
Okay, so I'm going to go up to this guard here and ask him, how does he have anybody else that's in the book that can unlock the captain?
Each of us have permission to unlock the doors. He was just the one showing you.
Then why did the guy upstairs wake everybody up? Well, wake him up. They should have just taken us down here and we would have done this.
Well, the one who was guarding the front door, you mean?
Yes.
He's guarding the front door.
Right, but he should have just taken us down here where you guys have access to the...
But he's guarding the front door. That's his job, is to guard the front door. He got you somebody that wasn't on duty. Are you asking why he didn't leave the front door unguarded?
No, I'm not asking why he didn't leave the front door unguarded. I'm wondering why he got another person up when you could have done the job and not have to deal with that asshole.
Well, I imagine it was somebody that could lead you through the guardhouse. We're not just going to let you wander. I appreciate that you're inspecting. Can we talk about this after we figure out what just tried to break into the cell there? This is all very strange timing. If you can all just please stay put. We have to reset the alarms before we can get the captain out or open up any of these other doors. It's just...
I understand. Let's get this fucking alarm shut off. This is all so stupid.
Yes,
Such
sir.
a waste of my fucking life down here.
This is great.
This guy is stuck. We go to so-and-so upstairs. Oops. Who just he's the one who's with Angel, and he kind of just is staying put. Averin.
Okay. Seeing the 2 locks unlock, Averin in his inspection is going to unlock the 3rd lock.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
So here's the thing. I have tool expertise and I do have thieves tools.
Cool.
Your proficiency bonus is doubled for an ability check you make that uses your proficiency with a tool.
Okay, so dexterity plus your
Well,
proficiency times 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it like that, sure. I thought it was
Yeah.
just going to be proficiency doubled.
No, well, it also has whatever its base modifier is.
Okay.
So it's your proficiency times 2 plus the plus dexterity
Okay.
for your
Don't
total
nat one
proficiency.
this. No ones.
13 plus 10, 23.
23 is enough. That's the final lock. Comes unclicked. Do you push the door open? Or are you happy with it just being unlocked for now?
For the time, for just a second, I'm going to leave it.
Okay.
Doman, if they get close, hug me. And
Hold me close.
stand on my feet. And that is going to be so awkward having him pushed up against my face that nobody else can see, or my back, I guess. It really doesn't matter. But
Just Averin's voice becomes weirdly muffled.
Fuck, is he gonna push open the door? Yeah, he's gonna push open the door.
The door opens.
Sir
There
Quillington,
are-
there appears to be a problem with these locks.
It pushes open. To your right, you see a tall, thin, black-robed figure who is white. He's standing outside of a small, a very small cage. The gnome inside is cramped, slightly, like he has a little bit of room to move around. The other 3 prisoners in similar-sized cages are much worse off. One of them being a orc who is like packed in, like they have been crammed inside this small box. There is another human man, and then a human woman who's the one over here. The table in the center is wet with something, likely a combination of blood and other fluids. Depending on whatever was happening, you see the gnome that is cramped in this box here is fucking right.
I'm sorry.
Is bleeding, not profusely, but he has a number of long cuts along his arms and across his chest. Everybody in here is also naked in this BDSM dungeon. The figure who is wiping his hands and goes, "Interesting you would say the locks don't work. I checked them myself not an hour before." And he just finishes wiping using a handkerchief, a moist towelette to clean the blood from his hands. There's a figure upstairs. Which, let's see. This one.
Hey, before we move off of that, it looked like there were window slits in the side of that new room. Are those actually present, or is it entirely sealed?
Window
I don't
slits.
see
It is
any-
entirely sealed.
oh.
Just the map tool I use automatically decides rooms need windows.
We're
Those
coming
are
in the
sealed off.
basement, really.
Yeah, this is the basement. So-
Oh yeah.
That's actually
nice
the fire
rock
extinguisher
wall.
holders.
yeah, there's a number of fire extinguisher holder. Yeah.
Baking soda
Oh,
holders.
and to be clear, there are bones on the ground around here. Those aren't just set decoration. There are legitimate bones around.
Oh,
I think
boy.
we're an organization that's supposed to uphold the law.
Well, hey, maybe it's to set an ambience for the torture. That's if there's clearly people that have died and just been left here, then hey,
God, it's gonna smell great.
bones don't really smell like anything. That's fine.
Yeah, but the way that they get from people to bones smells really bad for a long time.
One of the guards upstairs moved a little bit. Angel, what are you up to?
Angela's gonna turn to the guard and say, "Do you mind if I let my companion in the sun skimmer just know what's going on? You'll be able to see me."
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Roll persuasion. It's an
Very dramatic
8.
persuasion check. He'll be fine. That's just wait. We should be getting word from the lieutenant any moment now.
Alright. Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
To the next person who looking through and not important point of order. Will, your mage hand, do you have any feature that makes it invisible? Or did you release it? Or is it still just floating there?
Oh, I would have released it as soon as it was
Okay.
done its job. And it'd be concentrating on magic.
It startled me. Cool. He looks here and God, there's nothing in here. It must have been some sort of malfunction with the runes. He goes, well, and the other, the cell goes, can you please reset the alarm so that I can get out of here? Yes, sure. And he makes it to the front top of the stairs where the black-robed figure calls out, wait before resetting the alarms. It's odd that we would have so many accidents during an inspection. Which of you is leading the inspection? We're going to go out of initiative order. We'll come back in at the top and just...
it shows to me like I'm out of his eyesight right now. So do I hear him or?
Yeah, no, he's calling. He'll have stepped up, so he's
Okay.
kind of in front of Averin.
I'm gonna
Has
start
walked just into the
marching,
doorway.
like I'm gonna start marching towards him, and just be like, "I am, sir. Your officer just threw me on the ground, and then locked himself inside his own fucking jail cell."
Would you care to provide details as to why he threw you on the ground? My men aren't quite prone to just spontaneous acts of violence. The locking himself in the jail cell is a security measure. When any one of the arcane runes is disrupted, all of the doors are sealed, regardless of which side one of them is on. Any particular reason why he threw you on the ground, sir? And he looks at your insignia. Quiddington.
I haven't the slightest clue. I've had my coin purse pickpocketed. I've had weapons be thrown out of windows in jail cells. I've been hip checked by the goddamn guard, and then he locked himself into a room which has nothing wrong. So you tell me why your lack of training imbeciles are not up to snuff.
I do apologize that the coin purse that you've been parading around my dungeons was stolen. Might you point out which of our prisoners was carrying a weapon?
I point over my shoulder. Not like really accurately, just that way.
Reset the alarm. Allow the doors to be open. Palmer, bring me Frederick. Yes. Sir, is that really necessary? You heard the man, imbecile. If he managed to sneak a weapon past you, there are consequences. There's a way we do things. And, Sir Quiddington, I assure you, we abide the rules of law to the highest degree. The two guards nod, one of them moving up to the top of the stairs, where he leans in and he whispers something kind of to a large switchboard there. And you hear, as everything kind of powers down for a moment and then resets.
Oh, for the love of God, I was getting a headache.
Guard is able to step out. Parma goes and enters this one of the Frederick's cell, and after a moment later comes kind of pulling him out by the scruff of the neck, roughly kind of shoving him. He falls into the knee. I meant no harm. The pickpocketing thing is, I am so sorry, Sir Cunnington. I hope you can forgive me. There's no need for that, the black-robed man says. There is a punishment for anyone that would devise to bear weaponry while incarcerated within the prisons of the Vigilant Watch. I assure you, Sir Cunnington, this will be dealt with forthright. And he raises just a finger towards Frederick. That is a 29 to hit. That is 11 points of piercing
Rest his
and
soul.
22 points of necrotic damage as a black bolt from within the sleeve fires off, pierces Frederick in the chest, and you watch black veins like pulse, and he just collapses to the ground. It's a shame that one convicted of such a petty crime would do something so foolish as to merit corporal punishment. Sir Quinnington, I recommend you finish your inspection, and I assure you, I'll make sure to go over the details which you've so put forth so clearly for me with your house.
You know, that damage that you just saw, that you just did to this poor man. That looks familiar to the damage that we saw throughout the city just a day ago.
The use of poisons and such are quite common. Whatever you're insinuating, I assure you, I have nothing but the interests of the city at heart. You in your shining armor might look at one such as me and look down upon me. But I assure you the reason your armor stays clean is because of those of us who get our hands dirty. And she looks at his hand. He rubs just the last little bit of blood that he had been cleaning off of his hands. There is a price of doing business, and a cost even paid by those who live in tall ivory towers. And he flicks the little bit of blood on the front of your breastplate, whether or not you can see it. And your glamored breastplate immediately cleans the blood from itself. Finish your inspection, Sir Cunnington. I have work to do. And he turns his back to you.
So, while all of this is going on, as he steps out of the room, Avrin's going to walk in.
Doman as well.
Is Sai just still meditating? Just like I just passed him? He's still just meditating on the floor?
Yeah, that's just on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Is I doing anything kind of during all of this?
I mean, I was going to do something, but it doesn't fit now, so it would be pointless. I guess now that all this shit has kind of gotten tense, I'll be like, I'll just look around and I'll stand up. And where's Kaysen?
Kaysen, let's see. He was Parma. Kaysen has come out. He was the one that went in the cell, right? I don't. The guards.
Yeah, Kaysen was the one that was.
He walks out, and like as you look at him, he goes and just like does like the zip your mouth, like don't get involved, kind of motion.
I'll just kind of like sit next to him and just kind of. So nobody wants to know if there was an invisible person or not anymore. We passed that now.
I mean, we can look into that, but just don't
Got
interrupt right now. Was
Got
there
it.
was there an invisible person? You can just.
I mean, I thought I heard something go up the stairs, but
I am happy to go check that out for you. And he just turns and starts walking up the stairs.
So first things first, he's going to go through and he's going to inspect the cell, specifically looking for the runes that would fuck anybody up touching it.
These cages, I'm not even going to require a roll. You've been looking at them. These are just cages. They do not have arcane runes on them.
Specifically, I would have gone up to the one with the gnome in it.
That is this one that Doman's over next to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there are no runes. Weirdly enough, there's not even a lock. It's like the dog kennel door.
Just a little lift and slide.
It just has the little lift and slide. You can make a perception check. It does not, but it does not have the runes you've been seeing on everything else.
As Avi's looking through everything, I'm just gonna kneel down next to him, so I'm within like whispering earshot of Samuel, and be like, "Samuel, Rathmus told us to get you out of here. I need you to hold still, pretend like we're not here, and be ready to take a deep, deep breath."
I think fucking good. Middleman, you're not thinking of touching that latch, are you?
And I reach through the bars with my bag of holding, and I push him into it.
Wait, I've got to. And he goes into the bag. I'm just kidding. He does not. He's naked. He does not have his own bag of holding on him.
I pull it out, I reach into space, and I wait for Doman to take hold.
And I will immediately, as soon as I can, just grab the bag, and I will use my link to Angel to teleport myself to Angel.
Okay. You're invisible. Still, you teleport to Angel. Does your invisibility end when you? It's only when you like cast a spell or an action. This is not a spell. This is just.
Yeah, it's a class feature.
Yeah.
When I see him disappear, I'm gonna yell to my robot that the inspection's done. I'm tired of dealing with these idiots, and start headed back up the.
Shit. Okay, hold on. 2 seconds here. Fuck. There's something.
I'm gonna move this
Live
just
recorded message-
just for the math of it because I love what just happened. I'm just moving you two both a little bit further into the hallway so that he wasn't like 3 feet away from you guys when he did that.
He is going to take a bone or something that is near the area, put it in the cell, and use magical tinkering to give it a static visual effect of a naked gnome.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
a good one, but
No, it's not a great one. We're gonna give it. We're going to.
and I'm gonna get the fuck out of there.
Oh, this guy has. His perception is so high. And that is a natural 1.
Finally, the dice have decided to roll the other way.
I'm not gonna lie, your poor static image, I was gonna say it just is a DC 10. This guy has a +10 to perception, and so the only way I was going to give this to you was with a natural 1, and I honest to God just rolled a natural 1.
Hell yes.
1 sec. Okay, sorry. I was double checking. He has advantage against a lot of different things.
Making sure there wasn't something else.
Yeah. Illusions are not one of the things he has. Is an illusion a lie? Is it?
This
What do we
is-
call
this-
this a lie?
I mean, like,
It's a
If it was-
static
if-
visual effect. It is a picture floating in space. It is not a lie.
You're the DM. You make the call.
No, I'm not going. So Quinn has not lied to this guy. Like, you've said, like, sure, you've said there's an inspector, but you have not told him a lie. Everything that you've said has happened. You've not lied about who your family is. He has the ability. He does not need to make an insight check to determine if somebody is lying to him.
That's a
So
good
As
good for a
as
guard.
you turn to walk away, you and Averin, and he turns and is clearly just gives two passing glances at the people in the cells as he walks back in, turns around and slams the door shut behind him into this room at the end. Clearly just frustrated, going to have words with somebody higher up the chain later, but is just done with this interaction.
I'm gonna walk.
And you guys
past-
start making your way back. I just want to point out, had you just lied to him at any point, it would have been game over on that.
It would have been.
As-
Way to go.
As we walk past Jacobson, I'm just gonna dap him up. Like, man, this is way cooler than everything I do. I'm gonna definitely have to get with recruiter upstairs.
Yeah, it can be stressful at times, but yeah, hit us up. Maybe we can get you stationed here, and we'll deal with this bullshit together sometime. Most of the time. We just hang out and play cards. It's really only on inspections that things get tough. And I guess
I ask on my way out of the upstairs for a piece of paper. I'm gonna write a note and then try and find somebody to send the note to, and the note just says that I after being part of the calamity that was yesterday, I decided to go to a guard station and kind of give a very brief overview of what happened.
is this
and
to your
then
pop?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we're easy. I'm gonna say remove one gold as well. Like, it's on your guys' way out. You just there's like just a person, and you're like, hey, normal people are messengers, right? And it will get delivered. Well,
Normal people are messengers, right? For enough gold, they are.
and they just go,
This guy's just like, all right.
sure.
And
I
just
didn't eat today.
one last jab at Kyson as I walk out. I just be like, hey, Kyson, peace. And just put up two fingers.
I
don't know if he's catching any of these things,
for
but-
you as you all.
Loose, man.
The portcullis, as you guys leave, opens and shuts behind you. Angel, you rejoin the group. And those of you that jump in the back of the sand skimmer, we're gonna say that's about when your invisibility fades. I'm assuming you all move pretty quick, right?
We need to
Like
leave
Dome
now.
and you.
No, we're
I
not-
would have popped behind
Time to go.
Angel, and without even like letting her know I was there, I would have darted back to the sand skimmer and dumped him out in the back of the sand skimmer.
The portcullis was locked. That's
Oh well, then I would wait by the
the
portcullis.
guard would have had to open it for you. So we're going to say, what is his constitution?
Oh.
The bright side is, even if this dude is dead, if he's suffocated
Oh.
to death inside the bag,
It
Five of them.
says they can be in there for up to 10 minutes.
there's enough
Wait,
air.
because
There's enough air for
there's
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Then he's good. I thought it was. Old rules were there was no air in a bag of holding.
Yeah, let me double check, but I'm fairly certain
Also,
that
didn't
is
he,
what
like-
it says.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Can hold up to 500 pounds. Crowded, overloaded, torn, ruptured, destroyed, shattered in the astral plane. Breathing creatures inside can survive for a number of minutes equal to 10 divided by the number of creatures.
Okay, so 10 minutes. Perfect. So he'll be fine. Just out of curiosity, when you drop this criminal gnome into the bag of holding, like, what kind of stuff might he see lying around?
My tools.
Okay.
Not the gold anymore.
Yeah,
that's
not
all
gold
gone.
anymore.
could come out just brandished and all these.
I think that's really.
I couldn't remember if you had kept the gold from the hoard, which was like jewelry.
That would have been in the
and-
satchel of the valley.
Yeah, so you're good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He's not going to be interested in really any of those. So it would have been really funny if you dumped him out and he was just like dressed like a king.
Nah, he'll still be naked.
Yeah, but you make it back to the sand skimmer and are able to make it a short ways away before popping him out.
Yeah, there's 67 pounds of tools in there.
It
Also
has
driving.
been real life time, about 2 hours that we've been playing. There were so many places that could have gone wrong, and just the sheer number of stupidly high. The worst thing that happened to you guys was Quinnington getting
Bad
dunked.
intimidation rolls.
Yeah, the bad intimidation rolls, and then just getting dunked by the hip check.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
things went worse for
pickpocketing?
Frederick.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that happened to Quinnington, which I do apologize. I feel like I don't want you to feel like I was picking on you. It was just
No.
situational.
I wanted this to go a completely different way. I wanted, like, as soon as you told me that the list was in the vault, we hadn't inspected the vault, so I just wanted to go back upstairs and put Dom's name in the vault
Well-
so they could have just opened the door. But we weren't done with the inspection, so we had to
Yeah.
stay downstairs.
There were a lot of ways that could have gone poorly. There were some interesting things said to different people. And we will see how this all plays out next time on Easy to Spell.
That's
Thank
why
you all
they
for
call
joining
it
us.
that.
Come hang out with Will and I on Thursday for whatever we're doing and whoever we might have with us. Have a great week. We will for sure see you next Sunday. Same time, same place, give or take 20 minutes, depending on how on time the rest of us are. Have a wonderful night. Have a great week. Goodbye.
Bye.